Your life begins to fall into place when you stop forcing it and let your actions speak louder than your words. Silence is where your true power lies. It's in the quiet moments of self-reflection that everything becomes clear. Focus on yourself and trust that the universe will align when you stop chasing distractions. Have you ever felt like you're constantly chasing after approval or success, but it never seems to fall into place? What if the key to everything you want is simply focusing on yourself and staying silent? In today's video, we're going to dive into how shifting your focus inward, respecting yourself, and letting go of the need for constant validation can bring clarity, peace, and real progress. If you're ready to stop seeking approval and start living with purpose, stay tuned. You'll learn how taking control of your own life can make everything come together. Now let's dive in. Number 1. Take control of your time and guard your peace. You've probably noticed it by now. Time is the one thing we all have in common. And yet it's the one thing we all waste so freely. We let others take up our time. We let distractions take over our day. And we often find ourselves at the end of the day thinking, where did all my time go? The sad truth is that most of us don't realize how valuable our time truly is until it's too late. But here's the good news. It doesn't have to be too late. You can take control of your time right now. You can choose how to spend every moment, how to guard your peace, and how to live a life that's meaningful to you. And when you do that, when you really take control of your time and guard your peace, everything will start to fall into place. First, you need to realize that your time is yours and yours alone. No one else can control it. No one else can dictate how you spend it. People will try. They'll pull you in 1,000 directions with their needs, their demands, and their expectations. They'll want your attention, your energy, your resources. But here's the truth. If you keep giving your time away without purpose, without intention, you're allowing others to control your life. You're letting the world run you instead of you running your own life. So how do you take control? The first step is to be intentional with your time. Stop letting your day happen to you. Start planning it out. Every successful person has a routine. Every successful person has a way they manage their time. They don't let the day slip away without purpose. They focus on what's important, what matters, and what they can control. This starts with making time for yourself. That doesn't mean being selfish, it means being smart. You can't pour from an empty cup. If you don't take time for yourself to recharge, to think, to reflect, then you're going to burn out, and your ability to make an impact will fade. Make time for quiet. Make time for solitude. This is where clarity comes from. When you're quiet, when you're still, you can hear your own thoughts. You can make better decisions. You can focus on what truly matters. Now, as you take control of your time, it's not just about managing your schedule, it's about protecting your peace. You have to guard your peace like your life depends on it, because it does. Peace is what allows you to make good decisions. It's what gives you the space to think clearly, to reflect and to grow. When you allow chaos, distractions, and negativity to take over your life, you lose that peace. And when you lose your peace, you lose your ability to function at your best. Think about it. How many times have you been in a situation where someone or something just drained your energy? How many times have you let someone else's negativity affect your mood, your day, or your productivity? The truth is, we all let people and situations take our peace from us. But it's not their fault, it's ours. We allow it. We allow people to interrupt our flow. We allow distractions to pull us away from what matters. Here's the key. Stop allowing others to steal your time and peace. This isn't about being rude. It's about setting boundaries. You have to make the decision that your time and peace are more important than pleasing others or living up to their expectations. When you focus on your own path, when you put your energy into what truly matters, you protect your peace. You guard your time and your energy as the most valuable resources you have. And as you do this, as you begin to take control of your time and protect your peace, you'll notice something amazing happening. Things will start to fall into place. Opportunities will open up. You'll find that you have more energy, more focus, and more drive to accomplish your goals. The chaos will quiet down. You'll become more productive, more intentional, and more aligned with your true purpose. One of the biggest mistakes we make is believing that we need to be everywhere, doing everything. to be successful. We think we need to be constantly busy, constantly active, constantly moving. But the truth is, success doesn't come from being busy. It comes from being focused. It comes from being intentional with your time. And it comes from having the peace of mind to make clear strategic decisions. So, take a step back. Look at how you're spending your time. Are you focusing on what really matters? Are you protecting your peace? Or are you letting distractions and other people's demands take control of your life? If you're not where you want to be, ask yourself this: how much of your time are you giving away to things that don't serve you? How much of your energy are you wasting on things that don't move you closer to your goals? It's time to make a change. Start by carving out time for yourself. Plan your day around your priorities, not around other people's demands. Learn to say no when necessary, and don't feel guilty about it. Guard your peace by distancing yourself from negativity and distractions. Protect your time by focusing on what's important to you. When you do this, you'll find that everything starts to align. Your life will become more peaceful, more productive, and more focused. You'll start to make progress toward your goals, without all the noise and distractions that used to hold you back. Here's the thing: your life will only change when you decide to take control. You have the power to decide how you spend your time. You have the power to decide how you protect your peace. And when you make that decision, everything else will follow. Your relationships will improve, your career will take off, and your personal growth will accelerate. The moment you take control of your time and guard your peace, you will start to see results. You will start to see your life falling into place in ways you never thought possible. So take control today. Make the decision to focus on yourself. Guard your peace. Take control of your time. And when you do that, everything will start to fall into place. Number 2. Build yourself daily without needing outside validation. When you wake up in the morning, what drives you? Is it the need to impress others? Is it the desire to get approval or recognition for what you do? Many people live their entire lives seeking validation from the world around them. They seek likes on social media, compliments from others, and praise for their accomplishments. But here's the truth: if you base your sense of worth on external validation, you'll never find true fulfillment. You'll always be chasing something that isn't in your control. The real key to building a fulfilling life is learning how to build yourself daily, without needing anyone's approval. Building yourself up is an internal process, not an external one. It's about who you are when no one is watching. It's about the effort you put in when there's no applause, no recognition, no likes on your post. The world is full of distractions, but true success and happiness come when you focus on building yourself for you, not for others. The problem with seeking validation from outside sources is that it's temporary. People's opinions change. What someone admires in you today may not matter to them tomorrow. If you constantly look to others for your sense of worth, you'll always be relying on something unstable. Building yourself, however, is something you can control. It's a personal responsibility, and it's something that pays dividends in the long run. Every day you have an opportunity to invest in yourself. You have the chance to take action toward becoming the person you want to be. This doesn't mean you need to take huge leaps every single day. It doesn't mean you need to be perfect. But it does mean you need to commit to constant, incremental growth. Every day you can learn something new. Every day you can push yourself out of your comfort zone. Every day you can strengthen your body, mind, and spirit. The first step is to stop waiting for someone else to recognize your worth. Stop waiting for the approval of others before you take action. You don't need anyone's permission to be great. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. Your worth is not determined by someone else's judgment. When you begin to build yourself daily, without waiting for outside validation, you empower yourself to live life on your own terms. Think about it. How much time do you spend seeking approval from others? How much energy do you put into trying to fit into someone else's idea of success or happiness? When you stop seeking validation, you free yourself from that pressure. You take back control over your time, your energy, and your direction. And when you do that, you'll find that you start to make progress at a pace you never thought possible. Building yourself daily is about consistency. It's about showing up every day, even when you don't feel like it. It's about working on yourself when no one is watching. knowing that the small actions you take today will pay off in the long run. Whether it's reading, exercising, practicing a skill, or working on your mindset, these are all the things that will help you grow. The world may not notice right away, but you'll start to see the difference in yourself. One of the most important parts of building yourself up is accepting that failure is a part of the process. You will fail, you will fall short, you will make mistakes, but these setbacks don't define you. They're just a part of the journey. When you're focused on building yourself, you understand that every failure is an opportunity to learn, grow, and improve. It's through the challenges that you build resilience. It's through the tough times that you build strength. Another critical aspect of building yourself without needing validation is learning how to be your own cheerleader. Too often we look to others to encourage us, to tell us we're doing well, to give us praise when we succeed. But this external validation isn't sustainable. If you rely solely on others to lift you up, you'll be disappointed when that support isn't there. But when you learn to validate yourself, when you learn to celebrate your own progress and achievements, you become unstoppable. Self-validation is a powerful tool. It's about recognizing the work you've put in, acknowledging the progress you've made, and being proud of who you're becoming. You don't need anyone else to tell you that you're on the right track. You already know it because you can see the growth in yourself. You can feel the difference in your confidence, your attitude, and your actions. And this internal validation will keep you going, even when the outside world doesn't notice. Building yourself daily is also about investing in your personal development. This doesn't just mean learning new skills. It also means working on your mindset. You can have all the talent in the world, but without the right mindset, you won't get very far. When you focus on building a mindset that's strong, positive, and growth-oriented, everything else falls into place. Your actions, your habits, your relationships, and your decisions will reflect that mindset. So, how do you start building yourself daily? It starts with small actions. Set aside time every day for personal growth. Read something that challenges you. Work on a skill that you want to master. Take care of your body. Exercise. Eat well. Rest. Spend time reflecting on your progress and where you want to go. Every day, do something that makes you better than you were yesterday. These daily actions will compound over time, and you'll find that you're becoming the person you've always wanted to be. And here's the most powerful part. When you stop seeking validation from others, you stop relying on external factors to define your success. You define it for yourself. You stop waiting for someone else's approval to take action. You trust in your ability to make things happen. You trust that the work you put in, day after day, will pay off. And when you build yourself this way, you become unstoppable. The beauty of building yourself without needing validation is that it sets you free. It frees you from the need to prove anything to anyone. It frees you from the fear of judgment. It frees you from the pressure to meet other people's expectations. And when you're free from all of that, you can truly live life on your own terms. You can pursue your passions, chase your goals, and create a life that's meaningful to you, without waiting for someone else to give you permission. So, commit to building yourself daily. Take control of your own growth. Stop waiting for someone else to tell you you're on the right track. Trust in your journey, believe in your ability, and take consistent action toward becoming the person you want to be. The more you build yourself up, the more you'll see the world around you change. And the most powerful part is that when you stop needing validation from others, you'll discover that everything you need to succeed has always been within you. Number 3. Practice silence to hear your inner truth clearly. We live in a world that's always noisy. Everywhere you go, there's sound, whether it's traffic, conversations, music, or the constant buzz of technology. We're surrounded by noise every single day. We're bombarded with voices, messages, opinions, and distractions. It's easy to get lost in this noise. It's easy to forget the most important voice in your life, your own. If you don't take time to practice silence, you'll never hear your inner truth clearly. In the chaos of the world, your truth can get drowned out. But when you choose silence, you give yourself the space to listen, reflect, and discover the answers you're seeking. The first step to hearing your inner truth is creating a space for it to speak. Silence doesn't mean the absence of sound alone. It means creating stillness in your mind, body, and environment. It's about quieting all the external distractions and allowing yourself to listen to what's happening inside. When was the last time you sat in complete silence, without checking your phone, without distractions, without anything pulling your attention away? For most people, it's rare. And that's why they struggle to connect with their inner truth. The constant noise keeps them from hearing what really matters. Silence gives you the gift of clarity. When you're constantly distracted, you never have the chance to step back and reflect. You're always reacting, always moving, always doing. But when you embrace silence, you allow yourself to pause and reflect on your thoughts, your feelings, and your life. In the quiet, you can start to hear your inner voice, the part of you that knows exactly what you want, where you're going, and what steps you need to take. The noise of the world often clouds that inner voice, but when you silence everything around you, it becomes crystal clear. Practicing silence is more than just sitting in a quiet room. It's about learning to tune out the distractions that surround you on a daily basis. It's about being intentional with your time and choosing to spend moments in reflection, meditation, or simply being alone with your thoughts. You don't need to wait for a quiet moment to hear your inner truth. It's always there, but you have to create the conditions for it to rise to the surface. The truth is, we often drown out our inner voice because we're afraid of what it might tell us. We're afraid of the answers we might find if we stop and listen, but that's exactly why silence is so important. It allows you to confront the truths you've been avoiding, the questions you've been too scared to ask, and the feelings you've been suppressing. When you're willing to sit in silence, you're willing to face the truth, no matter how uncomfortable it might be. And it's through facing that truth that you grow, that you evolve, and that you become who you're meant to be. In the silence, you can hear the desires of your heart. You can hear your passions, your purpose, and your true calling. How many times have you rushed through life, feeling unsure of what you're supposed to be doing, feeling disconnected from your purpose? That happens when we're too caught up in the noise. When we don't take time to listen to ourselves, we lose sight of what we truly want. But in silence, you reconnect with your purpose. You reconnect with your deepest desires. You gain the clarity you need to move forward. Silence also allows you to listen to your emotions. In the hustle and bustle of daily life, we often push our emotions aside. We don't give ourselves permission to feel. But your emotions are valuable. They're signals that can guide you toward the right decisions, the right relationships, and the right path. When you embrace silence, you give yourself permission to feel those emotions fully. You allow yourself to process them and learn from them. It's only in silence that you can hear what your emotions are really trying to tell you. But here's the thing, silence isn't easy. In a world that thrives on constant activity and noise, sitting in silence can feel uncomfortable at first. It can feel like your mind is racing, your thoughts are overwhelming, and your emotions are too much to handle. But that's part of the process. The more you practice silence, the easier it becomes to sit with your thoughts and emotions. You begin to develop the strength to face whatever comes up without running away from it. You learn to be comfortable with your own company, and you realize that you don't need the distractions of the world to feel whole. When you practice silence, you also begin to hear the truth about your relationships. We often seek validation and approval from others, and we rely on other people's opinions to determine our worth. But in silence, you can begin to hear the truth about your connections with others. Are these relationships truly serving you? Are they bringing you peace, joy, and growth, or are they draining you? In silence, you can hear your own inner wisdom, and it will guide you toward relationships that support your growth and well-being. Silence gives you space to reflect on your choices and actions. How often do you make decisions based on what others expect of you? How often do you make choices out of fear or obligation instead of true desire? When you practice silence, you can examine your decisions from a place of clarity. You can ask yourself whether you're truly living according to your values, your passions, and your purpose, or whether you're simply going through the motions. In the quiet, you can make more conscious decisions, and you can take actions that align with the person you want to become. The more you practice silence, the more you'll start to trust yourself. You'll trust your intuition, your instincts, and your ability to make decisions. The external noise will no longer influence your choices. Instead, you'll listen to that inner voice, the one that has always been there waiting for you to pay attention. And as you listen, you'll become more confident in who you are and what you're capable of. You might be thinking, but I don't have time for silence. My life is too busy. The truth is, we all have time for silence. We just have to make it a priority. It doesn't matter if it's just 5 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes before bed, or an afternoon walk alone in nature. The key is consistency. The more you make silence a regular part of your life, the more you'll experience the benefits of it. Your inner truth will become clearer, your decisions will become more aligned with your purpose, and you'll find more peace in your daily life. The world will always be noisy. There will always be distractions, demands, and opinions coming at you from all sides. But you don't have to let it all control you. When you practice silence, you take back control. You create the space you need to hear your inner truth, to connect with your true self, and to live a life that's authentic and fulfilling. So embrace silence. Make it a daily practice. Turn off the noise and give yourself the gift of stillness. In that stillness, you'll hear the truth that has always been within you. And when you listen to that truth, everything else will fall into place. Number 4. Master your emotions by focusing on your own path. Mastering your emotions is one of the most powerful things you can do for your life. Every person you meet, every challenge you face, every success and failure you experience will stir emotions within you. These emotions have the power to either control your decisions or empower you to make wise choices. How you react emotionally can shape your reality in profound ways. But here's the truth. You can take control of your emotions by focusing on your own path. When you stop letting your emotions rule your life and start focusing on your own journey, your entire world changes. The first thing you must understand is that emotions are not good or bad in themselves. Emotions are signals, and it's how you respond to them that matters. Anger, sadness, fear, joy, excitement. These feelings are all natural and part of being human. The key is not to suppress them or act impulsively based on them, but to learn how to manage them. Emotions are meant to be felt, but they don't need to control you. When you master your emotions, you regain your power. So how do you master your emotions? It starts by focusing on your path and not getting sidetracked by what's happening around you. Life is full of distractions, people trying to pull you in different directions, society pushing you to follow its rules, and the expectations of others weighing on your shoulders. All these external factors can stir up emotions and lead you to make decisions based on what others think rather than what's best for you. But when you focus on your own path, you center yourself, and the noise around you begins to fade. One of the most common emotional traps people fall into is comparing themselves to others. The moment you start looking at someone else's life, whether it's their success, their lifestyle, or their achievements, you open yourself up to feelings of inadequacy, jealousy, or frustration. But comparison is a game you'll never win, because there will always be someone ahead of you, and there will always be someone behind you. The key is to stop measuring yourself against others and start measuring yourself against your own goals. Your journey is unique. No one else has walked the same path you're on, so stop allowing their story to affect your emotions. When you focus on your own path, you shift your attention from what everyone else is doing to what you're doing. Your goals, your dreams, and your values become your compass. You stop being pulled in 1,000 directions and instead move forward with intention. And as you focus more on your own path, your emotions start to shift from frustration and doubt to confidence and clarity. When you're clear about your direction, your emotions no longer control you, they align with your purpose. Another powerful way to master your emotions is to practice emotional awareness. Most people go through life reacting emotionally without ever pausing to think about why they feel the way they do. But emotional awareness gives you the ability to notice and acknowledge your emotions without judgment. When you feel anger rising, you can pause and ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? When you feel anxiety or fear creeping in, you can take a step back and evaluate what's triggering those emotions. This awareness allows you to gain control over your feelings rather than letting them take over. You can acknowledge the emotion, understand its root cause, and choose how to respond rather than react impulsively. This is where the importance of self-reflection comes into play. Taking time for self-reflection gives you the chance to pause, examine your emotions, and gain perspective. Reflection allows you to look at your experiences without the emotional charge, helping you learn from them and grow. You can look at a challenging situation and see how your emotions influenced your reactions. You can identify patterns of behavior and choose to change them. When you reflect regularly, you get better at understanding your emotional triggers and develop the tools to manage them more effectively. Part of mastering your emotions is also about taking responsibility for how you feel. It's easy to blame others or external circumstances for your emotional state, but the truth is, you are the one who decides how to feel. No one can make you angry, sad, or frustrated without your consent. Your emotions are a reflection of how you respond to situations, not the situations themselves. When you take responsibility for your emotions, you empower yourself to change how you feel in any given moment. You realize that you don't have to be a victim of your emotions, you have the power to choose how you respond. Now I know that focusing on your own path and mastering your emotions isn't always easy. There will be times when life throws curveballs your way. There will be moments when your emotions feel overwhelming, and it feels like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. But here's the truth. The more you focus on your own journey, the easier it becomes to navigate these difficult times. When your attention is on your goals and your personal growth, your ability to handle challenges improves. You develop resilience, and your emotional strength increases. Another key element of mastering your emotions is learning to practice patience. So often, we want things to happen quickly. We want success, happiness, and fulfillment right now. But the path to personal growth takes time, and learning to be patient with yourself is essential. When you practice patience, you reduce the emotional turmoil that comes from impatience, frustration, and the fear of failure. Patience allows you to remain calm and steady as you move toward your goals, even when things aren't happening as quickly as you'd like. You learn to trust the process and understand that progress takes time. It's also important to understand that you can't control everything. There are things beyond your control that will stir emotions within you, but how you respond is entirely up to you. Focusing on your own path helps you to let go of the need to control every outcome. You stop wasting energy on things that don't serve your growth and instead focus on what you can control: your thoughts, your actions, and your emotional responses. When you learn to let go of control, you free yourself from unnecessary stress and emotional strain. One final piece of advice for mastering your emotions is to surround yourself with positivity. The people you spend time with, the media you consume, and the environment you create for yourself all influence your emotional state. If you're constantly surrounded by negativity, drama, and toxic influences, it will be much harder to keep your emotions in check. But when you fill your life with positive influences, you create an environment where your emotions are more likely to stay balanced. Choose relationships that uplift you, spend time with people who support your growth, and immerse yourself in content that inspires and empowers you. Mastering your emotions by focusing on your own path doesn't mean you won't experience difficulties or negative emotions. It means that when they come, you'll have the tools to handle them. It means that you will no longer be a victim of your emotions but a master of them. The more you focus on your goals, your values, and your purpose, the less power external circumstances will have over you. When you make the commitment to focus on your path and take responsibility for your emotions, everything in your life starts to fall into place. The noise and distractions begin to fade, and you move forward with confidence, clarity, and emotional strength. Number 5. Improve your health. Because your body reflects discipline. Improving your health is not just about looking good, feeling good, or adding years to your life. It's a direct reflection of your discipline. The choices you make every day, what you eat, how you move, how much rest you get, tell a story about your habits, your mindset, and your character. Health is one of the greatest investments you can make because it doesn't just affect your physical body. It impacts your energy, your confidence, and ultimately your life's trajectory. When you take the time to improve your health, you build a foundation for everything else to thrive on. Now you may be asking yourself, why focus on health? I have so many other things going on in my life. That's a common thought. But let me tell you this, your health is the foundation upon which everything else is built. Without it, It doesn't matter how successful your career is or how strong your relationships are, you won't be able to enjoy them. Without your health, everything else becomes harder. It's the most fundamental aspect of your existence. Discipline in your health shows up in the choices you make daily. It's about making the right decisions, even when it's difficult. Discipline is not about perfection. It's about consistency. Think about the small decisions you make every day. What you choose to eat, how often you choose to work out, whether you take time to rest. Those decisions, repeated over time, determine your physical well-being. If you can practice discipline in your health, it spills over into other areas of your life. It builds your ability to take consistent action toward your goals, whether they're personal, professional, or financial. Your body, your physical health, is a direct reflection of the habits you practice. If you're neglecting your health, you are neglecting yourself. Your body is your vessel, the vehicle that carries you through life. So why wouldn't you take care of it? The quality of your health is the result of how much you honor and respect your body. It's about showing up for yourself every single day and doing the work that ensures you're operating at your best. Think about the energy you get from feeling healthy. When you're eating right and exercising regularly, you feel energized, confident, and ready to take on the world. Your mindset shifts from one of lethargy and frustration to one of power and focus. That's not just physical, that's mental. When you improve your health, you improve your mental clarity. You begin to see things more clearly. Your mind operates at a higher level when your body is functioning well, which makes it easier to focus on your goals, make smarter decisions, and stay positive. And don't overlook the connection between health and emotional well-being. When you feel good physically, you feel good emotionally. Your mental health flourishes when you take care of your physical health. Exercise releases endorphins, which are chemicals that make you feel happy and relaxed. Eating the right foods fuels your brain, helps you manage stress, and improves your mood. Taking care of your body isn't just about the external appearance. It's about nurturing your entire being. It's about feeling strong from the inside out. Now let's talk about the discipline required to improve your health. It's not something that happens overnight. It takes daily commitment, consistency, and patience. But the more you commit to improving your health, the more you realize how deeply connected discipline is to the process. The small decisions you make every day add up. The discipline you show in what you eat, how you move, and how you rest creates momentum that builds upon itself. Eventually, those small changes become a lifestyle. They become a part of who you are. And when your health becomes a priority, it impacts everything else in your life. There will be days when you don't feel like working out, or when you're tempted to eat something that doesn't serve your body. But this is where discipline plays a huge role. On those days, remember that your future self will thank you. The decision you make today is an investment in your future. Every time you choose to put your health first, you're not only benefiting your body, but also strengthening your character. You're teaching yourself the power of commitment, the power of saying no to short-term gratification for long-term benefits. Sometimes, it's easy to think that making small changes won't make much of a difference. But I assure you, those small changes add up over time. Every healthy meal you eat, every step you take, every hour of sleep you get, each one compounds. The results don't always show up immediately, but they will. Over time, your body will thank you for the discipline you showed today. And let's be honest, we all want to be able to look back on our lives and know that we took care of ourselves, that we showed up for our health every single day. When you take care of your body, you feel proud, you feel strong, and that pride, that strength, translates into every other area of your life. But there's another piece to this. You must respect your body. It's one thing to go through the motions of eating right or exercising, but it's another thing to truly honor and respect your body. Respecting your body means taking the time to listen to it, to understand what it needs, and to give it what it deserves. It means making choices that aren't just about what looks good on the outside, but about what feels good on the inside. It's about choosing nourishment over temporary pleasure, choosing strength over weakness, and choosing self-care over self-neglect. Respecting your body also means acknowledging that health isn't just about physical appearance. It's about feeling strong, feeling energized, feeling like you can take on whatever challenges come your way. It's about showing up in the world with confidence, knowing that you've done the work to take care of yourself. When you improve your health, you're not just improving your physical appearance, you're improving your entire experience of life. And that's the kind of change that lasts. Number 6. Work on goals without telling anyone your plans. When it comes to pursuing your goals, there's a powerful principle that many people overlook: working in silence. It's easy to get caught up in sharing your plans with others, seeking validation, or waiting for approval. But this is where you begin to lose focus. The key to success is working on your goals quietly, without broadcasting your every move. You don't need to announce your intentions to the world. In fact, the more you keep to yourself and focus on the process, the faster you'll get to where you want to go. The world is filled with noise, opinions, distractions, and expectations. It's hard to hear your own thoughts when everyone around you has something to say. But here's the thing: no one else can walk your journey. No one else is going to put in the hours of work, the sweat, the struggle, and the determination. Only you can do that. And it starts with keeping your plans to yourself and using your energy for action, not talk. Why is this so important? Because when you announce your plans, you invite others' opinions into the mix. You open the door for doubts, distractions, and negativity. Even well-meaning people can unintentionally steer you off course. You'll hear things like, "Are you sure that's a good idea?" Or "That seems like a long shot." The problem with this is that it gets inside your head and disrupts your focus. When your goals are clear in your own mind, it's easier to stay on track without being derailed by others. Another reason to keep your goals to yourself is the power of surprise. There's something special about achieving something without ever talking about it first. When you work quietly and then suddenly show up with results, it leaves people in awe. It's a statement of self-discipline and determination. It's a reflection of your commitment to your vision, regardless of external noise or validation. But let's talk about the process of working quietly. It requires a level of focus and discipline that can be hard to maintain in a world that encourages constant sharing and validation. With social media and the internet, it's easier than ever to let everyone know what you're up to. But that constant need to broadcast can interfere with your progress. The more you talk, the more energy you're expending on things that don't matter. Instead, channel that energy into doing the work that will move you closer to your goals. You have to trust that the work you're doing in silence is enough. You don't need external validation to prove that what you're doing is right. Your progress, no matter how small, is enough. It's easy to get caught up in the idea of needing others to recognize your efforts. But the truth is that recognition comes when the results show. When you stay quiet, focus on your craft, and put in the hours, people will begin to notice. Not because you've told them what you're doing, but because they'll see the outcome of your hard work. This is where the power of silence comes in. It's a tool for clarity and focus. When you stop seeking attention or validation, you can hear your own voice more clearly. You can focus on what truly matters. Instead of worrying about how others will perceive you, you can spend your energy building the life you want. Your work will speak for itself, and that's the most powerful statement you can make. In addition to that, there's a sense of peace that comes with working in silence. When you don't share your plans, you remove the pressure of constantly defending them. You free yourself from the need to explain why you're doing what you're doing. You can move forward with confidence, knowing that your path is your own. It doesn't matter if others understand or agree with you. What matters is that you're doing the work, and you're staying true to yourself. Now let's be clear. This doesn't mean you should isolate yourself or never seek advice. Having mentors or trusted people to share your journey with is important. But the key is to share with people who have earned the right to hear your plans, those who have been through the struggles themselves and can offer guidance based on experience. When you share with the right people, it's about growth, not validation. It's about building each other up, not seeking approval. The other side of working on your goals without telling anyone is the sense of freedom it gives you. You don't have to meet anyone's expectations or live up to anyone's image of success. You can pursue your vision at your own pace and in your own way. You can experiment, make mistakes, and grow without fear of judgment. There's no need to worry about fitting into someone else's timeline. Your journey is uniquely yours, and the freedom to go about it quietly without comparison is a powerful tool for success. And as you work quietly on your goals, remember that the journey itself is where the real growth happens. Success isn't just about achieving the end result. It's about who you become along the way. Every step you take, every challenge you overcome, and every piece of progress you make is part of your transformation. The act of working quietly allows you to focus on this transformation without the distractions of outside opinions. In the long run, the results will speak for themselves. When you've worked relentlessly, day after day, without needing to tell everyone about it, you'll look back and realize how much you've accomplished. The success you've achieved will be a natural result of your quiet dedication and consistent action. So, the next time you're tempted to share your plans or seek validation from others, remember that your greatest work is done in silence. Your goals are yours alone, and the path to achieving them is best walked quietly. Trust the process, keep working, and let your results do the talking. When you focus on your goals and stay silent, everything else will fall into place. Number 7. Grow your skills quietly and let results speak loud. When it comes to achieving success, too many people make the mistake of trying to prove their worth before they've even fully developed their skills. The constant urge to showcase what you're learning or what you're capable of can actually hinder your growth. Instead, true growth comes from quietly working on your skills, day in and day out, without needing validation from anyone else. And then when the time is right, your results will be the loudest statement of all. First, understand this. Every skill you develop requires time, dedication, and consistent effort. It's easy to look at someone who has mastered their craft and think they got there quickly or effortlessly. The truth is, no one has ever truly mastered something by bragging about it before putting in the work. Those who excel in their fields tend to spend countless hours practicing, refining, and learning, without needing to announce it to the world. There's a certain power in quiet growth. It's the understanding that progress doesn't need an audience. If you're constantly worried about what others think of your abilities or trying to get their approval, you'll never truly focus on the work that needs to be done. You'll be distracted by external noise, and that will pull your attention away from honing your skills. You see, when you're focused on what others think, your energy is spent on validation, not on improvement. Think about the people who impress you the most. Are they the ones talking about how great they are? Or are they the ones who quietly deliver results that speak for themselves? Most often, it's the latter. The most skilled individuals let their work do the talking. They don't need to boast or tell others about their journey. They understand that their growth will be recognized when the time is right, and that recognition is far more meaningful when it's earned rather than self-proclaimed. When you focus on growing your skills quietly, you create an environment where your work is the only thing that matters. Your improvement, no matter how small, will build over time and result in a level of expertise that speaks louder than any words ever could. And the best part is, you won't have to waste energy on trying to prove anything to anyone. Your focus is solely on the task at hand, and that's where true mastery comes from. Here's where it gets powerful. When your skills are developed quietly and consistently, you build a sense of confidence that is unshakable. You don't need others to tell you how good you are. You already know the hours of practice and the effort you've put in. This quiet confidence is what enables you to face challenges head-on and take on new projects without hesitation. You're not waiting for anyone's approval or validation. You're standing on the foundation of your own hard work. One of the greatest advantages of growing your skills in silence is that it gives you the freedom to fail and learn from those failures without fear of judgment. When you're not focused on what others think, you give yourself permission to make mistakes, pick yourself up, and try again. Failures become learning opportunities, not sources of embarrassment. You can make mistakes without feeling like you're letting anyone down. The only person you need to impress is yourself, and that pressure is a lot less daunting when your focus is on progress, not perfection. In the beginning, you might not see immediate results, but trust that each step you take is bringing you closer to where you need to be. Growth isn't always visible right away. It's often slow and subtle, but with time the results will begin to show. And when they do, they will speak volumes. The work you've done quietly, day in and day out, will be evident. People will notice your expertise, your precision, and the quality of your work, and they'll respect you for it. Don't be afraid to let your results speak for themselves. It's natural to want to share your progress with the world, especially when you feel like you've made breakthroughs. But remember that the most lasting success doesn't need to be announced. It's the work that is quietly accomplished behind the scenes that often leads to the biggest breakthroughs. When the time is right, people will notice, and when they do, your results will be far more impressive than any words you could say. There's a certain freedom in not needing to announce every step of your journey. It frees you from the pressure to perform for others and allows you to focus solely on your own growth. Your development becomes a personal journey, and that makes the successes even sweeter when they finally arrive. You can walk into a room with the confidence of knowing that your skill speaks for itself. You don't need anyone's approval because you've already proven it to yourself through the quiet work you've done. Quiet growth also allows you to truly enjoy the process. When you're not seeking recognition or approval, you can immerse yourself fully in the work, in the process of improvement. Each small step forward becomes its own reward. The satisfaction of mastering a new skill or perfecting a technique is enough. You're not looking for praise. The joy is in the journey itself, and the results become a reflection of the dedication you put in. As you continue to grow, remember this: results don't just appear out of nowhere. They are earned. They are the product of time, effort, and quiet determination. The more you focus on the process and less on the external noise, the better the results will be. And when those results come, they will be undeniable. They will speak louder than any words could ever do. So in the quiet moments of your journey, keep working, keep growing, keep building your skills. Don't feel the need to share everything you're doing with the world. Trust the process, trust your work, and let your results speak for themselves. When you do this, you'll find that everything falls into place in a way that feels natural and fulfilling. Your work will carry weight, your expertise will be respected, and you'll be able to stand tall knowing that all the effort you put in, away from the spotlight, has led you to real success. Number 8. Remove toxic habits that hold back your potential. We all have habits, both good and bad. But here's the hard truth. Some habits aren't just unhealthy, they're toxic. They drain your energy, stunt your growth, and keep you from achieving your full potential. These toxic habits might be subtle at first, but over time they hold you back in ways you can't always see right away. Whether it's procrastination, negative self-talk, or continually putting the needs of others ahead of your own, these habits do one thing: they keep you stuck. The first step toward overcoming toxic habits is recognizing them. Too many people are caught in the cycle of bad habits, but fail to see how these habits control their lives. If you want to be the best version of yourself, you have to be brutally honest. Look at your daily actions and ask yourself, what am I doing that's not helping me grow? Take inventory of the habits that drain you instead of energizing you. Toxic habits aren't always the obvious ones. Sometimes they show up as small daily choices that add up over time. It could be the constant checking of your phone, spending hours on social media comparing yourself to others, or getting caught in toxic relationships that aren't serving your personal growth. Once you identify these habits, the real work begins. It's time to remove them from your life. This is where it gets difficult, but it's also where the real transformation happens. You can't simply wish away these habits. You have to replace them with healthier alternatives. If you're procrastinating, set small, actionable goals that you can accomplish every day. If you're filled with negative self-talk, start practicing self-compassion and gratitude. When you feel like putting off something important, remember that your future self will thank you for every little step you take now. Removing toxic habits isn't just about stopping something negative. It's about replacing it with something positive that moves you forward. Think of it like clearing out a garden. You need to get rid of the weeds so that the flowers can grow. The flowers of your life are the healthy habits you want to cultivate: discipline, resilience, consistency, and focus. But before those habits can thrive, you need to make space by pulling out the weeds. The challenge with removing toxic habits is that they're often deeply ingrained in your life. Some have been with you for so long that you don't even realize how they've shaped your mindset and behaviors. Breaking the cycle isn't easy, but it's entirely possible. Start small. Don't try to change everything at once. Pick one habit that's truly holding you back and focus on replacing it. This gives you something manageable to work on, and allows you to see the impact of making that change. Every time you successfully replace a toxic habit with a productive one, your confidence will grow. It may be difficult at first, but the rewards are worth it. A key part of this process is to shift your mindset. If you truly want to remove toxic habits, you have to adopt the mindset of someone who's in control of their life. This means no longer allowing your circumstances or external factors to dictate your habits. You are the one who decides what's acceptable and what's not. You are the one who can choose to take action. When you change your mindset and believe that you have control over your actions, it becomes much easier to make the necessary changes. It's also important to realize that removing toxic habits won't happen overnight. It's not a one-time fix, it's a daily commitment to yourself. Every time you resist the temptation to fall back into a bad habit, you're building discipline. Over time, your self-control will strengthen. It's this consistency that will eventually break the chains of those toxic habits. Remember, the key to success isn't perfection, it's persistence. The more persistent you are in removing toxic habits, the more space you'll create for your best self to emerge. Another critical factor is replacing those toxic habits with empowering ones. Don't just focus on what you're removing, focus on what you're replacing it with. Replace negativity with positivity. Replace procrastination with action. Replace distractions with focus. These healthier habits will not only help you grow, but they'll also become your new foundation for success. The more you replace negative habits with positive ones, the more you'll start seeing the results you desire in your life. It's also important to recognize that removing toxic habits is a form of self-respect. Every time you choose to break free from a toxic habit, you're telling yourself that you're worthy of better. You're showing yourself that you believe in your potential and are willing to make the necessary changes to reach it. This doesn't happen by accident. It takes effort. But every bit of effort you put in is an investment in your future self, and you'll be proud of the results. Another reason toxic habits are so difficult to remove is because they often stem from deeper issues. You might procrastinate because you fear failure. You might struggle with negative self-talk because you lack self-confidence. You might stay in toxic relationships because you don't feel worthy of better. The root cause of these habits may lie deeper within you, and uncovering them is part of the healing process. Take the time to reflect on the why behind your toxic habits. Understanding the root cause will help you address the issue directly and change the habit at its core. One of the most powerful things you can do in this process is to surround yourself with positive influences. The people you spend the most time with play a huge role in shaping your habits. If you're around people who are stuck in toxic habits themselves, it will be harder for you to break free. Seek out those who inspire you, who challenge you to be better, and who support your growth. When you surround yourself with people who embody the habits you want to cultivate, you'll find it easier to stay on track. Your environment is crucial to your success. You're not going to remove every toxic habit all at once. That's unrealistic. But with consistent effort, you can begin to build a life that reflects your true potential. Each day you commit to removing a toxic habit and replacing it with a positive one, you're moving closer to the person you were always meant to be. Don't let toxic habits steal your future. You deserve better, and the best time to start is now. Number 9. Develop your mindset through daily focused action. Developing a strong and focused mindset doesn't happen overnight. It's the result of consistent, deliberate action taken each day. The key to creating a mindset that works for you is in developing habits that promote focus, clarity, and determination. Too often, people expect immediate results, and they give up too soon. What separates successful people from everyone else is their ability to stay committed to their goals by taking small, focused actions every single day. The journey to developing a powerful mindset starts with recognizing that mindset is everything. Your mind shapes your reality. If you feed it negativity, doubt, and fear, you'll create a life full of those things. But if you focus on growth, determination, and action, you'll begin to see a shift in how you approach the world. The first step is to embrace the understanding that your mindset determines your outcomes. You must believe in your ability to shape your future with the right actions and the right thoughts. This all starts with daily focused action. The truth is, you can't think your way into success. You must act your way into success. Every day you take small steps toward your goals, your mindset shifts toward what is possible. It doesn't matter how big or small the task is, what matters is your commitment to making progress every single day. It's about showing up, even when you don't feel like it. The discipline to push forward, even in the face of challenges, is what sets the successful apart from those who never reach their full potential. A lot of people make the mistake of waiting for the perfect time to act. They tell themselves, "I'll start tomorrow," or "I'll wait until everything is aligned." The truth is, there's no perfect time. The perfect time to act is right now. The moment you decide to take focused action is the moment your mindset shifts from passive thinking to active doing. And this active doing is what will take you toward your goals. Daily action, however, is not just about mindlessly doing tasks. It's about focusing on the right tasks, the ones that will push you toward your bigger goals. You need to prioritize your time and energy. When you wake up each day, ask yourself, what are the 1 or 2 things I can do today that will move me closer to my goals? These focused tasks, though they might seem small, are the building blocks of the future you want to create. Another aspect of developing your mindset through daily action is consistency. It's not enough to take action once in a while. You need to be consistent with your efforts. Consistency is the secret ingredient to success. When you take focused action every single day, even on the days when you don't feel like it, you're training your mind to stay focused on the long-term goal. Over time, your mind becomes conditioned to push through discomfort and keep moving forward. This consistency is what builds mental strength and resilience. It's what helps you overcome the challenges that will inevitably come your way. Your mindset is not something you can develop once and forget about. It's a constant work in progress. The way you think and the actions you take today will influence the way you think tomorrow. That's why daily focused action is so crucial. You're not just building a mindset for today, you're building it for the future. Every choice you make shapes your character, strengthens your discipline, and sharpens your focus. When you look back at the path you've taken, you'll see that each small decision to take focused action adds up to something much bigger than you could have imagined. There will be days when things don't go as planned. There will be days when you feel like giving up. But the key to developing a strong mindset is to not give in to these feelings. Keep showing up. Even when things don't go right, keep taking action. Even when the results aren't immediate, keep going. Over time, those small actions will compound and you'll start seeing progress. But that progress only comes when you remain committed. Day after day, focus is another critical element in developing your mindset. The world is filled with distractions and it's easy to get off track. If you want to develop a strong mindset, you need to train yourself to focus on what truly matters. That means eliminating distractions, setting boundaries, and being intentional with your time. When you make the decision to focus on your goals, you're making the decision to ignore the distractions that don't serve your vision. It's also important to remember that developing a mindset that works for you is not about perfection. It's about progress. Every day you take focused action, you are making progress. Perfection is an illusion. It's the consistent pursuit of improvement that makes the difference. There will be mistakes along the way, and that's okay. Mistakes are part of the learning process. When you develop the mindset of focusing on progress instead of perfection, you take the pressure off yourself and create space for growth. Your mindset is built by your actions, but it's also shaped by the way you speak to yourself. Positive self-talk is essential for building a mindset that supports your success. The way you think about yourself influences the way you act. If you tell yourself you can't do something, you won't. But if you tell yourself you're capable, you'll find the strength to keep moving forward. Each day, practice speaking kindly to yourself. Replace thoughts of doubt with affirmations of confidence. This positive reinforcement strengthens your mindset and fuels your daily actions. Your mindset isn't just about how you think, it's about how you act. It's the decisions you make on a daily basis. When you focus on taking action each day, you begin to build a mindset that aligns with your goals. The more you act, the more your mindset becomes one of possibility and success. Eventually, the actions you take today become second nature, and your mindset becomes automatic. You no longer have to consciously focus on positive thoughts because your actions are already aligning with your desired outcomes. The power of daily focused action is immense. It doesn't matter where you start. What matters is that you start and keep going. The consistency and focus you put into each day will shape the way you think, the way you approach challenges, and the way you live your life. Your mindset is something you build every single day, and every action you take gets you one step closer to the life you want to create. Keep going. Stay focused. And remember that every day is an opportunity to grow stronger, more determined, and more capable of achieving your goals. Number 10. Choose self-respect over approval from others always. Choosing self-respect over seeking approval from others is one of the most powerful decisions you can make in your life. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that validation from others is what will make you feel fulfilled, appreciated, or worthy. We live in a world where people are constantly seeking praise, approval, and affirmation from others. However, seeking approval from the outside world can create a never-ending cycle of dissatisfaction. You may never get enough approval, or you might find that when you do, it's not enough to sustain you. The truth is, your self-worth and happiness cannot be determined by the opinions of others. When you live your life seeking external validation, you give up control of your happiness. You let someone else's opinion of you dictate your peace of mind and your sense of self-worth. But when you choose self-respect, you take control of your own destiny. You're not relying on anyone else to define your value, because you understand that you are enough just as you are. Self-respect is built on a foundation of knowing your worth and not compromising it for anyone. It's understanding that your value doesn't decrease based on someone else's inability to see it. When you respect yourself, you set boundaries that protect your peace, your time, and your energy. You stop allowing others to treat you in ways that are less than what you deserve. The more you practice self-respect, the more you reinforce your worth, and the more others will respect you as well. When you choose self-respect over approval, you stop measuring your worth against the standards of others. Instead of looking for external validation, you focus on your own personal growth and values. This means that you no longer seek approval for every decision you make. You trust your judgment, your intuition, and your ability to make decisions that align with your goals and values. The confidence that comes from living authentically, without needing others' approval, is liberating. It allows you to pursue what's important to you, without fear of criticism or judgment. People often make the mistake of allowing themselves to be controlled by the opinions of others. This is particularly true in social situations where you may feel pressured to conform to what others expect of you. When you choose self-respect, you no longer feel the need to seek approval from others in order to feel validated. You begin to trust yourself more deeply. You stop needing to please everyone around you because you realize that your own happiness is not dependent on anyone else's opinion. You stop worrying about what others think of your choices because you know that your decisions are your own, and they are based on your values and principles. Choosing self-respect means giving up the fear of judgment and criticism. This is not an easy thing to do, because as human beings, we all seek acceptance in some form. However, it's important to remember that the people who truly respect you are the ones who respect your choices, your values, and your authenticity. If you constantly find yourself altering your behavior to meet someone else's expectations, you're not living your truth. You're living their truth, and that's not how you're going to build a meaningful life. When you start choosing self-respect over approval from others, you will begin to notice a shift in your life. Your relationships will change. People who respect you for who you truly are will be drawn to you. Those who don't respect you will either fall away or treat you differently because they can no longer manipulate or control your actions. This is where the power of self-respect comes in. It attracts the right people into your life. It weeds out the toxic, energy-draining relationships and brings in people who will support you for who you are, not for what they can get from you. One of the key aspects of self-respect is learning to say no when something doesn't align with your values. Too often we say yes to things simply because we don't want to disappoint someone, or because we want to be liked. However, this constant need to please others can quickly lead to burnout, resentment, and a loss of identity. Saying no doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you a person who respects themselves and values their time and energy. Every time you say no to something that doesn't serve your highest good, you're saying yes to your self-respect. Choosing self-respect also means learning to forgive yourself. You're not perfect, and you're going to make mistakes. But those mistakes don't define you. Your ability to learn from them, grow, and keep moving forward does. You must forgive yourself for any past errors, shortcomings, or decisions that didn't serve you. The person who is constantly seeking approval from others is often the person who struggles the most with self-forgiveness because they are focused on pleasing others rather than learning from their mistakes. Self-respect requires self-compassion. It's okay to be human and to make mistakes along the way. What matters is how you rise from them. Another powerful benefit of choosing self-respect over approval is the increase in your confidence. When you stop seeking approval from others, you stop looking for external sources of validation. Instead, you start validating yourself. You begin to trust in your own decisions and abilities. The more you practice self-respect, the stronger your self-confidence becomes. Your confidence will not only grow in your ability to make decisions, but it will also extend to your self-worth and your ability to pursue your goals fearlessly. You will begin to walk with your head held high, knowing that you are worthy and capable, regardless of what others think. There will always be people who won't understand your decisions, your path, or your choices. They may try to convince you to do things their way or to seek their approval. But remember that the moment you choose self-respect is the moment you stop relying on the opinions of others. Your path is yours alone, and you are the only one who can walk it. When you respect yourself enough to follow your own course, despite the noise and pressure from others, you are living authentically. And that authenticity is what will allow you to reach your highest potential. Living a life based on self-respect, rather than the need for others' approval, is freeing. It's the key to living a fulfilling and peaceful life. You don't have to look for validation outside of yourself. You are enough just as you are. When you embrace your worth, trust your judgment, and honor your values, everything else will fall into place. Choosing self-respect will not only transform the way you view yourself, but it will also transform the way others view you. People will begin to treat you with the same respect you've given yourself. And that's when real change begins. Ultimately, choosing self-respect over approval is the path to personal freedom. It's the foundation for living a life that is true to who you are. When you make this choice, you are no longer beholden to anyone else's standards or expectations. You create your own path and walk it with pride, knowing that the most important opinion is your own. Self-respect is the ultimate source of strength, and it will always guide you toward your highest good.